At this point, die. What's there to think about? 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 We're back again to play some games, and today we're playing Chronotopia. I know how to read. Chronotopia Second Skin. So the developer of the game actually hit me up and gave me a copy of the game to show you guys. So if you guys enjoy the video and the game, go ahead and download the game over in Steam. I'll leave a link in the description below. There's also a demo available in case you're on the fence. How did it all begin? Let me know. Before my eyes was the most beautiful landscape one could imagine. A vast blue sky as far as the eye can see. A bright sky speckled with thin clouds. I could never have dreamed of a better place to honor my last moments. Oh, you're dying? You're dying? In fact, it is almost a waste. The light is too dazzling, too powerful. I am falling apart on the spot. Thin strands of hair periodically obscure my eyes. My own weight takes me down in an endless free fall, lower and lower still. Yes, I am drowning in this gaseous immensity. I can read. Little by little, my thoughts turn into a confused jumble. My whole being becomes numb. I am blown away by the wind like a wisp of straw, swept far away according to its whim. The very contours of my being fade away. My memories, my essence, disappear. Oh, you're really dying. To tell the truth, as my body approaches the ground, as the impact becomes imminent, nothing matters anymore. I like to say that I am scared, but I do not feel anything anymore. All I know is that I do not deserve what is up above, that I do not deserve to fly. While my corporeal envelope shatters into pieces, your body is shattering to pieces, my mind keeps moving. Particles float around my stiff and lifeless body. Everything becomes dark, silent. I do not know where I'm going, but I know that this is where I belong. Dead? You think you belong dead? There lies my punishment. I return to original darkness. Man, that's a scary thought. How can I even be forgiven? I forgive you for whatever you did, maybe, perhaps. A rustle interrupts my slumber. My eyes open by themselves, almost against my will, to reveal a blurry and gray world. Confused, I tried to move, but my body had suddenly become so heavy that it would not respond. By the way, I think I just got an achievement that said, "Congratulations, you're dead." I don't think I want that achievement. I don't think I want that. Thank you, though. After long minutes spent struggling against myself, I finally managed to twitch my fingers. Yet something was still holding me back. All of a sudden, I realized that I was not lying in my bed, just awakening from a long and pleasant night. I opened my eyes wide. I was standing. Almost scared me. I was standing, held against a wall by climbing plants tied to my limbs. A flexible botanical wall surrounded me, wholly in some sort of protective and comfortable cocoon. Like a spider? Slightly pulling on the plants made them collapse and allowed me to entirely release myself. I could not stay here. I had to leave. Yeah, spiders! You know what this looks like? It looks like Skyrim. I'm pretty sure there's caves with spiders that look like this. Determined, I pierced the membrane with my own hands and stepped into the unknown. I found myself in a gigantic temple, plunged in half-light. Pale lunar rays passed through from above the vault, which allowed my eyes to get used to the darkness and finally see what the night was hiding within. There were how did I get here? Didn't I die? And I was looking at the sky. Did they bury me here? Or cocoon me in here? There were dozens and dozens of cocoons, similar to mine, aligned all around me. Who is you? I moved towards the nearest one and glanced through the gleaming, translucent membrane. There was someone inside, a sleeping human being. This discovery deeply disturbed me. Get her out. Despite my dry mouth and hazy mind, it seemed clear to me that those poor souls were being held captive against their will. I almost had to free them. Almost. I absolutely had to free them. As I was about to tear the Linnaeus, imprisoning the stranger's cocoon, I heard a bell tinkling behind me. I turned around. A strange figure was standing a few meters from me. A man, or a woman, dressed in a long robe, akin to a monk's, leaning on a cane, with their eyes fully covered by a black blindfold. Who are you? What is this place? Instead of answering, the apparition simply beckoned me to come closer. I had a moment of hesitation. After all, I did not know this person. There was no guarantee I could trust them. I don't trust that. With a cane that tall, there's no way. But it was also the only human being able to provide me with the reasons of my presence in this enigmatic place. Could I even hope to understand without their help? As I was remaining motionless and mistrustful, my I promise I can read. My interlocutor reached for me. I sighed. In the end, this blind person appeared quite harmless. How do you know they're blind? They wanted to coerce me. Had they wanted to coerce me, they would have probably tried to do so earlier. Suspicious yet determined, I responded in kind and grabbed their hand. Then they quietly took me to the temple. To my greatest surprise, there were many other rooms like the one I had awakened in, all filled with cocoons. This strange and dreamlike sight sparked my curiosity just as much as it confused me. Where are we exactly? Why are there plants everywhere? They're plants. They look like spider webs. Cocoons. Why do people sleep in cocoons? But my companion remained silent the whole way and simply led me to the exit, to my annoyance. At least tell me your name. Finally, I arrived outside. I love the way the game moves. I like how it moves. If that makes sense. Before me, a desert scattered with ruins stretched out to the horizon. Destroyed buildings were engulfed by luxurious plants, yet the atmosphere was dry. Yeah, I'm definitely not. I feel like I'm in a different world. The afterlife. A gust of wind regularly created whirlwinds of dust from the muddy ground. See, this ain't California. We are non-California. In the firmament, I promise. In the firmament, a gigantic moon seemed to watch over this mysterious landscape. I felt strangely anxious, as if I had returned to a familiar place. A place lurking deep within my heart that I would have preferred to forget. California? My temporary guide brought me out of my torpor, by letting go of my hand and respectfully bowing down before me. You know, I had my doubts about you, but you're a little quiet, but you seem okay. Bye. Wait. Before I even had a chance to hold them back, they vanished into the depths of the temple again. Back to work. At the same time, a group of young women came out of one of the buildings. They noticed me and readily rushed towards me, laughing. Laughing at me? Or laughing with me? I don't know. I'm just talking. Oh, you just woke up? You must be a new shadow. What's your dream? What's your dream? Tell us. Come on, don't pressure him. Him? I'm a him? I'm a him? The poor soul must be utterly lost. But it's the first time I met someone who has just been born. So we all died at some point and woke up here. I'm intrigued. I want to know what I'm a he? Saw. I do not understand what you're talking about. Where are we? Where exactly is this place? Why are there people sleeping in here? Or sleeping in there? Don't worry, we're going to explain everything. But first, you must tell us your dream. When you say dream, do you mean like what do I aspire to be? Or like in my cocoon state, what was I dreaming of? Was it only a dream? I don't know anyone. I don't know anymore. I was cradled by plants, and it was dark. I had to pierce the membrane. But what happened before that? Before that? I think I was in the sky. A deep azure sky, blue sky. But that is the only thing I remember. Well, that's not very precise. That's what I'm saying. If a newborn claims he doesn't remember his dream, he's most likely a wandering shadow. We must take him to Lynn as soon as possible. I could have swore I was playing as a girl. Did I read the description wrong? Probably. You're right. His time is limited. He needs to find his dream quickly. Lynn's? Limited time? What's the meaning of this? What's going to happen to me? That's simple. We're going to take you to the wise woman of the village. She's the most knowledgeable person around. She'll know how to help you. Absolutely. And she'll explain the whole thing far better than us. It was an anarchy in my head. I absolutely did not understand what was going on. See, I'm supposed to be a girl. Why do they keep saying he? Did I read it wrong? Like, it says I'm a heroine. I'm like, did I download the right version? I'm supposed to be a girl. None of the human beings I had crossed path with thus far appear hostile, but nothing made any sense. I have hardly let myself be guided through the ruins of my new friends. They are not your friends. Acquaintances. Be for real. We met other people on the way, men and women of all ages, dressed with loose and relatively warm clothes, probably to protect themselves from the wind and aridity. Some of them were talking aloud on the threshold. Others were building some terracotta huts, and some were pulling carts laden with tools. One could have thought it was an ordinary village, if not for the peculiar and unspeakable feeling, as if these people did not really exist, as if this hamlet was in fact inhabited by shadows. So, do I look like them? Like, do I not have any... Finally, the young woman stopped before a something. A small group was gathered around the fire. Step aside, it's important. We have to see lies right now. It's true. We may have found a wandering shadow, or a wavering shadow. With these words, a voice both sharp and soft rose. Let me see. Or, let me see. They said soft. The villagers moved aside in a flash. Then I saw her. A young woman stood straight amidst the crowd, full of confidence. She was wearing a pure white dress that contrasted with the gray and dirty air. With a bright red cloak on her shoulders, she shook her brown hair and smiled mysteriously. Her piercing eyes saw right through my flesh. Ooh. Don't look too closely. As if she had put a finger over my heart, a sharp pain ran through me. Her eyes reminded me of the sky, a great azure sky, and the coldness of the ground when my guts spilled onto the floor. Ooh, did you get stabbed? I was falling. I was drowning. I was going to hit the floor. I was only fate's toy, a thing without a will. Did you fall from the sky? Did you fall from the sky? I was falling, I was drowning, I was going to hit the floor. I was only fate's toy, a thing without a will. How did you die? Let me know. Yes, that was my dream, a fall. But was it really a dream? The wind blowing in my hair felt so real, the lights so bright. And before that, how did you get that high? Before falling, I was on a lighthouse. Oh. Still, how tall is the lighthouse? I was on a lighthouse's promontory. I was watching over the landscape from the top of the tower. The air was fresh, just warm enough, and the sun was caressing my skin. But despite all that, I jumped. Oh. I was the one who did it. I killed myself. But why? I don't know. I don't remember why I did it. When I finally came back to my senses, the young woman was staring at me with a large smile. It was good. You just got a piece of your memory back, right? What? Who are you? How stupid of me. I did not introduce myself. Where are my manners? My name is Linz. I'm this village's wise woman. I'm going to be with you during the inner journey you're going to make in the following days. I don't get it at all. What am I doing here? What is this place? Don't worry. My job also entails telling you about the rules of the world. Let me begin with an overview of what's going on. Then you can ask me anything you want. Is that alright with you? It's not that I have much of a choice, do I? Subject personality, deeply pessimistic. I see. If this is how you're gonna be, go on. Ask me anything on your mind right now. What is a shadow? By nature, a shadow's existence is cryptic. You wake up one day in the temple, you use your time as you see fit. Then one day, you go back to sleep without any explanation. That's what we call being born and dying. But that's not really the best way to describe it, because you can wake up multiple times, or sleep forever. It's a tradition for each shadow to be given a name based on the dreams they had while they were sleeping in their cocoon. It is said that those dreams are in fact memories from your previous life. So should my name be like Sky? Blue? Azul? Your presence here is like a transition. If you manage to put your previous self behind you, you will be able to come back to life and have a second chance. If not, you will be stuck here. Does this mean I'm dead? Probably. This is not how you picture the afterlife, right? Nope. Well, let's say it is rather surprising. It's supposed to be better for one to know the basics of no ma'am, not that word, beforehand, but that is not very common. Strangely enough, as long as we're alive, we never worry too much about what comes after. Rebirth and the transmigration of souls. These concepts seem so distant to us. And when it's time to die, nobody's ever ready. What exactly happens during a shadow's birth? What's going to happen to me? Oh, that's quite simple. The village council will gather to give you a name and will let you live among our tribe until the next time you're called to sleep. So what are you exactly? Like, you said you're a wise woman, but like, is this your home? Like, for real, for real? Do you go to sleep and wake up, or are you just here permanently, all the time, to help people? If you wake up once again in the future, we will give you a new name, and so forth. That's it? Most of it. That's the usual process when someone wakes up, with clear memories of their dream at least, but I don't have that. Sometimes a shadow only has partial or blurry memories, so we can't give them a proper name. That's what wavering shadows are, people stuck between worlds, whose flames could vanish at any moment. Where are we? We currently stand in a timeless space which doesn't have a real name, but you can think of it as a purgatory. In this world, the night is eternal. You'll never see the sun. There's no end to the moor. There's no end to the moor. Moor? Or wherever you go. What happens when shadows don't recall their dreams? I couldn't help but gulp as I waited for the answer. The wavering shadow is locked in the purgatory hall for several days so they can meditate and get rid of the mist in their mind. After those few days, if they manage to get their memories back, they will have the right to join us. However, if they fail for whatever reason, they're denied. The wavering shadows who fail to overcome the trial are cursed. You will lose the ability to see, as well as the ability to speak. Well, that's not right. Is that my fault? I can't remember. There will only be one way left to atone for your sins. To become one of the temple's priests. Oh, no wonder that old person couldn't see. Priests watch over the temple. This is where most of the shadows wake up, and where the faded shadows come to sleep. I find this rather poetic, you know. Anyway, the priests lost their existence, and now spend their lives serving the community. Some occasionally patrol around the world to try to find shadows who wake up in other places. It is a noble but lonely mission. There is no other way to save wandering shadows. Wavering shadows. I keep saying wandering. I'm glad you asked. You see, in the past we would simply throw them into the purgatory hall and wait for them to overcome their trials by themselves. When I came here, I offered to help wavering shadows recalling their past lives using a method called monotherapy. That's why those girls brought you to me. I am scared. How are wavering shadows different from the others? I can't tell you why some people have it easier than others when it comes to remembering their dreams, but I have my own theory. Let me know. Lay it on me. In my opinion, it's all a matter of individuality. Not everyone is ready to put things behind them, especially if they have lived a hectic life. So regrets. There's also a high rate of wavering. Shadows amongst those who have killed themselves in the past. Dang, that's me. There's also a high rate of wavering shadows amongst those who have killed themselves in the past. I imagine it's because they arrived here with the desire to forget. What is blah blah blah? The whole process simply involves analogy. I just tell stories that involve universal themes, suited to my You're very smart, Lies. You are extremely smart because you got words. You saying words I don't know how to say. Interlocutors, personality. Then they have to draw parallels with their past life on their own. My method might appear childish to you, but it does help stimulate the memory. All I have to do is listen to you and react when something sounds familiar. Exactly. I'm going to make you explore Iroconia, and you'll have to find pieces of your memory. Iroconia? Etronia? You must be familiar with the concept of utopia, a place that does not exist. For my part, I let people travel through times that do not exist. Temporal utopias I have the opportunity to visit in the past. Wait, what do you mean by visit? I thought there was nothing else beyond the moor. I'm not fond of getting into the details because it's rather hard to swallow. But let's say I have a huge privilege of being the only one able to leave the village. So there is an exit to this place somehow. Not really. Well, it's hard to explain. Do you really wish to know? Of course I do. Basically, I'm able to travel from one world to another. They're all closed spaces, but I can walk between worlds to find my way. I can't be seen by inhabitants of those other worlds, but I can watch many things. That's why I'm able to take you with me in a Iroconia, and why I'm a respectable member of the village. Nobody else was able to do this. Well, girl, let's go. Wait, you want me to witness past events you have already seen yourself? How is that even possible? Yeah, yes and no. Like I said, these are unicronious, temporal utopias. I don't know that word at all. These are unicronious, temporal utopias. Time works differently there. I can go back to the creation of the world if I so desire. Let's go see that too. Why are you the only one able to travel? Well, Lynn looks very uncomfortable. She took a deep breath and shot a profoundly gentle look at me. Well, shadows are not really people to begin with, and the things you see in your dreams are not really from your past life. In fact, we're ideas, all of us. Our dreams are our concepts. But a concept is a shifting thing, so it's quite normal to be put to sleep and come back to life as a new variation of that concept. I don't get it, so let's move on, please. You cannot explain this to me. The thing is, nobody here realizes it. Or rather, nobody wants to admit it. Because if there is an idea, then there's someone who thought of the idea. And being the toy of some unseen being is not pleasant. I don't get it. I'm the only one here who accepts myself as an incomplete idea and embraces my true essence. That's all. Ideas? But ideas cannot feel and think. That's ridiculous. We have to be human. See? I knew you wouldn't believe us. Still, this is the truth. This place does have a name. The Ideas Graveyard. You and I are both incomplete characters in a story that has never been told. That's why we're doomed to be born again and again, hoping to achieve our final form and obtain the acceptance of our maker. Story never been told. That's why we're doing the in the ground, hoping to achieve our final form, attain the essence of our maker. Is this a are they realizing that they're in a video game? That's preposterous. Preposterous. You know, this is absurd. That is absurd. You know what? Forget it. You have to be a human being. I was only joking. Ha ha ha. That was so funny. I knew it. That was one weird metaphysical ramble you went on. It did not make sense at all. Anyway, how do you manage to travel from one world to another? With magic. I'm a witch. Voila. There's nothing more to know about me. We can learn how to use magic? No, you can't. Only I'm able to do it. Because I'm special. I'm the chosen one. Oh, I see. I totally get it. You should have told me this sooner instead of rambling. Okay. I hate you all so much sometimes. What's happening next? You're the curious kind. I like that. To be honest, I'd rather have active and keen companions, ready to face up to any challenges. Oops. It is a lot better than having lazy ones who just follow you without ever saying a word. That would be me, for real, for real. Just tell me what to do. I hope this means you're the former category. Well, anyway. We're both going to go to the purification hall and I'll perform a ritual to take our souls, or take your soul with me. Without your spectral body, you'll just be a drifting perspective. A mere spectator. I'll let you witness the events of a story without intervening. The rest will be up to you. When we get to the fairy tale world, you are about to witness key moments in the story that are similar to what you have experienced in your own past. The difficulty is that you obviously don't know what is going to lead you to your identity. Everything's going to come down to a feeling. In other words, not much. That's why I have developed a tool to make your pilgrimage a little easier. Take this. It's a piece of rock crystal. Its properties are rather special, as it has been infused with magic. Thank you. How do I save? Eh? Yeah. Let me see. Oh. I thought a crystal will appear right here. But no crystal yet. As soon as you reach a key moment, the crystal will resonate with your lost memories, and your surroundings will light up like this. See, you know this is a video game. You know this is a video game. Because you just said screen. Your surroundings will light up like this to warn you. Once you have correctly identified a key moment, the real hard work begins. To get a chance to retrieve your memory, you absolutely need to grab the memento, which is the material or immaterial source of the alert. If you're not sure what you should do when the crystal starts flickering, try to touch everything you see. You may come upon the memento by chance. Girl, you know what's going on. Regardless, memento will instantly turn to a quartz after being found. Once the tale is over, we will come back here, and I will transform all your quartz into true memories. The more you have in your possession, the more chances you get to piece the puzzles back together and remember who you used to be. I'm counting on your alertness to bring back as many as possible. Oh, got it. If you have any doubts, the fragments you have collected are viewable at any time from your satchel. Practical, isn't it? Initially, the rock crystal Lenny's ride. Okay, I think I get it. I think I get it. Recently, it has also started detecting strange little creatures who are hiding everywhere in the backgrounds. I call them the elementals because they're spirits based on the 4 elements: water, fire, wind, and earth. Maybe you will obtain something if you manage to collect them all. I will try my best. Anyway, it is easy to let yourself get carried away by the story and miss the memory fragments, so keep your eyes open. I'm ready, honestly. I'm ready. Am I even capable of remembering? Of atoning for my sins? Don't be afraid, you're not alone. This is the mirror of your soul. Let's visit da-da-da-da. I missed it. Descendants of a great family from Mauritania who had settled in Europe, the princess was as wise as she was beautiful. With her thirst for justice and strong personality, she was soon handed the reins of the country. Her wealth came from a magical donkey she had inherited from her ancestors. Where'd they get that from? The animal could produce gold and jewels at will. She collected them to erect roads and buildings which would serve the interests of her people. Under her reign, works of art and projects of all sorts have developed. Her people live without ever having to fear hunger, since she always found a solution. The attention she had for her people, as well as the vast power her wealth gave her, made the young princess hugely respected across the country, and everyone praised her. God seemed keen on satisfying her in return. The princess indeed fell deeply in love with a young, inexperienced, but honest noble, who had eyes for nobody else. He was from a famous family of 12 sons. Golly, 12? Since he was one of the last born, he lacked attention and desired to settle far from them so he could write his own tale. She gave him love and respect, and he asked for nothing more. From their marriage, a lovely daughter was born, and she was already on the path to become as wise and brave as her mother. Year after year, the king and queen ruled together as fairly as possible. The magical donkey, from which came their wealth, was treated well, and the couple's life seemed perfectly desirable. A magical atmosphere hung over the realm, and there were rumors the queen had to be part fairy to meet success in everything she was doing. No other country looked more like a fairy tale come true than this one. As the couple was enjoying their life, full of ideas to make their country a better place, misfortune eventually struck. Dang. The queen, who everyone thought was invulnerable, fell critically ill. Even though the king called the best physicians in the world, nobody was able to find a cure for the sickness that was devouring the queen from the inside. Days passed, citizens were getting more and more restless, and the family more and more depressed, but to no avail. Realizing she was going to draw her last breath, the queen spoke to her husband on her deathbed. She was still young, and she would have gladly kept working on all major undertaken projects. But she was even more remorseful for leaving her husband and her daughter so soon, as she loved the both of them tenderly. So many things to do, and so many memories to have. So many beautiful moments to live. Alas, pain was carving a deep chasm into her chest. As the king was leaning over and stretching a hand towards her, with the saddest look he ever had, she was struggling to tell him her last wills. Her face partially paralyzed, ridden with painful spasms. The queen exhaled excruciating moans. My dear, this is the end for me. Hush, do not say a thing. Do not wear yourself out. I still believe. I have to believe. We will find a cure, and you will be better soon, I promise. It's hopeless. I know this. No, I cannot believe it. Before I depart, I would like you to do something for me. I love you, you know it. And I love the young princess too. I cannot stand imagining you crying over my death for too long. I want you to be happy above all else. What are you trying to imply, my dear? I know how you are. You will not accept my death. You have always searched for my eyes, for my attention. I already know all too well how sad you will be. But you will not be able to mourn my death until the end of time. I would rather follow you in death than live without you, my lady. How silly of you. The kingdom needs you. Our daughter needs you. Do not leave them behind, even for my sake. But sooner or later, you will have to overcome my death. I want you to live, my beloved. I want you to live for me. I will never stop thinking about you. In that case, please allow me to request something. I insist that you remarry. Find someone who will make you happy again. Someone who can take my place in the eyes of the people, of our daughter, the princess. But I cannot do this. Nobody will ever replace you in my heart. I know it's painful. It's painful for me as well. Deep down, I feel so angry imagining you in the arms of someone else. But I am not selfish, I am. I want you to be happy above anything else. If I am not here anymore, I at least want a woman as wise as me to know how to heal your heart. That is my last wish. How could I fulfill such a cruel request? You're the only one my heart craves. The only one. The queen laughed sadly. Fever and pain were gnawing at her. Soon, it became near impossible for her to talk. Her eyes were getting more and more to the point that she was unable to make out her husband's grieving face as he cried beside her. Stretching a hand towards him, towards the light, she tried rubbing his cheek one last time. Regretfully, she could not help silently shedding tears. The aching was becoming so intense, she was gradually losing her touch with reality. My fate is such a cruel one. I only want to live by your side, to bask in your innocent smile all eternity, for all eternity. Yet I have to go. That is God's will. I do not want to. Of course I do not. It is too soon. There are still so many things I have to do here. It is too late, however. I cannot do anything but face it. The mere idea of being replaced is harrowing. To imagine someone else living in my quarters, ordering my retainers, settling in my home. To think about someone else in your arms, embracing you, kissing you, and giving you a new hair. To think about someone also gaining the affection of my daughter, attending her wedding, raising and supporting her. It is making me die inside. Jealousy is eating what remains of me. I would rather still be here. I would rather have lived those beautiful days forever. But it's impossible. So even if it pains me, even if the thought is unbearable, you must find happiness. You must forget me. And that is so painful to me. You probably thought I would face death with dignity, that I would be stoic and calm. That is how people see me. Now you being for real, you're being real. Because honestly, if I die before my significant other, I don't want them to move on. However, I am only human after all. I wish I had been more righteous. But amidst this pain that is tearing my body to dust, all that remains are regrets. Thus, they bid a tearful farewell to each other. Sometime later, the queen died in unbearable suffering, and the king was inconsolable. Dang. Y'all can't even give her a peaceful death. Painfully, unbearable suffering, golly. As sensitive and deeply in love as he was, he considered that no girl from any good family could ever rival his late wife. He consequently refused to remarry and swore to never change his mind. The whole kingdom was mourning the death of its queen. One of the greatest ceremonies ever made was organized in her honor. It went on for several days and nights. Whether farmers or merchants, rich or poor, each citizen took part in the funeral. They decorated the city with lanterns in several places. Some water lanterns were even put on the great lake for her sake. At night, the candles could be seen all the way from the lord's castle. The young princess, who was as sorrowful as her father, found comfort and admiring those lights. Those flickering lights looked like spots of hope for her. However, the country seemed to be consumed by a steadfast evil, harbinger of storms. Things would not be the same again. As the years passed by, the kingdom slowly declined. The king had lost any hint of motivation and could not bring himself to do anything since his wife had died. He canceled all the great works the country was working on, thinking they had all lost meaning without her, and locked himself up in stillness and silence. The citizens felt neither heard or supported, and discontent was growing. Yet the king did not care. It almost seemed like he was trying to be hated by his people. Only the magical donkey was keeping the kingdom from going bankrupt. I forgot about the donkey. However, the inevitable happened. The donkey's fame went beyond the kingdom's borders, and several neighboring, wealth-seeking lords tried to invade the lands, leaving them scarred by wars. The once-lived castle was now a shadow of its former self. Artisans and merchants were fleeing one after another, looking for more auspicious lands. The people had long lost faith in their lord. At first, the king's apathy and inexperience were convenient for the nobles, since he was handling the country rather poorly and was showing no signs of resistance. Opportunistic counselors took advantage of the situation to seize control of the realm and get richer behind his back. However, the decadent mood was not so convenient anymore. After some time, but was it not already too late? The counselors realized that there was nothing to be expected from the current king, who had become impassive. They had to do something fast, for the greater good. Factions appeared. Some thought the king could still take care of the realm until the princess's wedding, with whom would become the new king. Others precisely hoped for the princess to seize the throne earlier than expected, while some others advised the king to find a new wife who could revive his will, or even that he could go back to his homeland and lead the country with a new government. The most extremist nobles had no problem suggesting taking care of the king once and for all, but that last option would not satisfy anyone. They all lived in wake of a previous queen. They all had wanted to honor her memory, but no one seemed to understand what she had been trying to build. Because of those long struggles, the king, Thibod, was asked to find a new wife day after day. However, he was still absently refused to do so. His most faithful counselors were growing desperate. But your excellency, the whole kingdom's fate is at stake. You cannot remain passive while some are scheming for your death or your replacement. Exactly. Twins! You got twins working for you? Exactly, your lack of action is folly. You must choose someone to live by your side, to put an end to those complaints weighing on your shoulders. I do not care. Let them kill me if that's what they want. To follow my queen is my only wish. You cannot say that, your excellency. The queen would always think of the kingdom's best interest. If you give up the realm, you betray her memory. Do it for your wife. Do it for your wife. So be it. Dang, you do not care. If you do not wish to... You guys really are twins. If you do not wish to manage the kingdom, then why keep this masquerade going? Maybe he wants the whole kingdom to burn. You should have married the princess off much earlier. Think of your daughter. It is time for you to see something else. My daughter, the princess, may hate me for all I care. My whole kingdom too. Nobody will ever be as great as my departed wife. But my lord! Enough! I do not want to see you anymore for today. Be gone. Leave me alone. Horrified, the counselors could feel the kingdom's ruin looming. While some were already planning a coup, and were fighting over some arbitrary throne, the loyalists thought they had to find a way to pierce the king's walls. To get a better understanding of the king's psyche, they called on the old druid. Hold on, that's the guy that led us in the temple. Same silhouette. Or maybe there's, maybe it's just the same model. The same drawing. Go and try to convince the king to find a new wife. We are ready to do anything to make him change his mind, regardless of whom would be the wife he chooses or chose. Do not worry, sirs. Just sit by. Y'all look like brothers, honestly. But you're bad news. Got it. Give me a second. I ran up the stairs. I need to breathe. Hold on, this music though. Do. Your Highness, your counselors invited me here today because they are worried about your health. Speak freely. What is weighing on your heart? The death of my wife, of course. I have lost any desire to live since she died in my arms. I cannot see nor hear. I keep on brooding over the past again and again. I understand. The Queen's ghost still haunts you, and you are a prisoner of the past. Yet, could this spell be broken? You wish for the good of the kingdom, do you not? Naturally, I wanted to follow through with her work. I wanted to be strong. But let myself be shut away by time and decay. It is far too late now. If I may, I think there's a solution. You need to find a young woman who can become the new queen. No one can do it. I have taken a look at the portraits of all the neighboring girls from good families who were ready to be wed. They have been sent to me, all of them. There's not a single woman with her qualities. Yet, you did not wish to meet with any of them? Why not give them a chance to show you who they are? It does not matter. I already know it. Could it be that you are taking the Queen's last wish to heart, and you were only ready to wed a far more beautiful woman than she was? Beauty is indeed enjoyable, but I do not really care about it. I only ask for her to be wise, smart, and righteous. Are you looking for someone who shares her traits? The king, I don't like that little close-up, a little evil close-up. The king stood still, given the awkward silence. The druid knew he was right. The king did not want any princess in the area. He wanted someone who looked like his departed wife as much as possible. You want that chocolate. And if there was a Moorish princess, would you consider marrying her? Maybe. Why you got weed? Then your highness, I know only one such person. One righteous and wise princess who looks exactly like our departed queen. She lives near you at the moment. And who might she be? I have a portrait of her with me. I think it's the only one you did not glance at. Really? Why would my counselors hide this mysterious princess from me? See for yourself. The ambitious druid handed the portrait to the aging king. He grabbed it and paced up and down across the room in the revealing silence. She's magnificent. This face, the skin, this expression. She's lovely. And you're telling me that she is wise and righteous? Absolutely, your highness. She has received the best education. I recognize those eyes. I could swear I'm looking at my wife. How is this possible? Who is this foreign girl? She is Princess Kionna, your daughter, your majesty. My daughter? His daughter? What? First of all, why did you not recognize your daughter in the photo? Second of all, no. Why are we what? Excuse me? Yeah, kick him out. What? What? Burn the whole kingdom down. Burn it. My daughter. The king was shocked for a split second. Depression had taken a hold of him to the point of cutting him off from reality. To be honest, he had refused to see his daughter since the queen's funeral, because her mere presence reminded him of those beautiful days forever lost. He did not even know what she looked like, or what kind of woman she had become. He suddenly felt shameful. Yeah. Cut the cameras, we're done. Disgusting. Why would you even suggest that? Are you making a fool of me, Druid? Are you telling me to marry my own daughter? Oh. Admittedly, it must sound rather extreme, but think about it, Your Highness. Is there someone else who could look more like your departed wife than her? I'm sure there's some other black girls out there. I'm sure you can find another black woman out there. I'm positive, sir. That's disgusting. And ugh. Admittedly, it must sound rather extreme, but think about it, Your Highness. But think about Your Highness. Is there someone else who can look more like your departed wife than her? I would even say it's a gift from God. A divine gift, you say? Why are you even considering this? I would have been kicked him out. Why do you have this picture of my daughter anyway? Why do you carry around a picture of my daughter? I don't like that. Oh, he's falling for it. Princess Kionna looks too much like her departed mother for it to be a mere coincidence. This is God's will. That's just genetics. Of course she's gonna look like her mommy. The queen's soul did not go to heaven. It settled in that younger, tailor-made body. She is simply waiting for you to find her, my lord. Do not miss the second chance. Heck nah. I hope this memory doesn't belong to me or belong to the main character. I hope this memory doesn't belong to them. Who wrote this story anyway? Who wrote this? Confused by the old druid's silver-tongued words, King Tybalt? No. I'm thinking Romeo and Juliet. That's not how I pronounce it. Hesitated and eventually sent the man away, claiming he would think about it. What's there to think about? What's there to think about? What you thinking for? But the seed had already been planted. Weakened by his unstable state, the king was already struggling not to completely succumb to despair. The flickering hope the swindling druid had brought to him was enough to make the king fall into darkness. Little by little, over the course of the increasingly frequent visits from the man who would become his confidant, the king started to give in to the idea. The druid had a way of implying that the young princess was actually the reincarnation of her mother, and that she surpassed her in everything. So much so that the impressionable king eventually believed him. The new obsession was the only thing which was keeping him alive from this point forward. At this point, end it. You're done. Go ahead and die. And thus, he did the unforgivable. That morning, a sweet scent hung in the castle's corridor. The azure sky hinted at a beautiful spring day ahead. In the feeble light, illuminating a four-poster bed, a silhouette was quietly moaning. All of a sudden, hurried footsteps could be heard nearby, and the door was slammed open. A breathless young retainer entered the suite. "Princess, it's time to wake up." A muffled groan was her only answer. "I would love to let you sleep, but I cannot do so, unfortunately. Do not forget that your private tutor has scheduled a lesson for this morning." Okay, I'm getting up. The figure moved laboriously. "Is that you, Nahima?" "Who else, princess? I'm the one waking up every morning. Now please make haste and get out of bed. We need to perform our toiletry. Toilet? The young woman stood up without a word and let her lady-in-waiting guide her. Through precise and vigorous gestures, she made her take a bath, then took care of dressing her. Aren't I supposed to be looking for something? I don't see anything. The chandelier's moving. I don't see no spirits. Just as the retainer was going to brush her hair, Kionna finally seemed to get out of her stupor. Torpor? I don't know that word. What is that flowery scent that has been tickling my nose since this morning? It must be verbenas, princess. It is the season after all. Verbenas are quite exquisite flowers. Do you not think? All those colors. Maybe. I see that you are not fully awake yet. Did you happen to spend a rough night? I do not know. All that I remember is that I dreamt for quite a long time. And what did you dream about, princess? Who's Jay? Oh, that I was with you, that I was queen, that I was alone. Girl, I was thinking about you. What's that? What was that? What's that necklace? Okay, so she'll remember that. She'll remember that. We were both in the vast flower field on a sunny day. I think you were weaving a crown while claiming me your queen. Oh, it almost sounds romantic. Romantic? I do not know. However, I clearly remember that I was feeling incredibly serene. Do you think that this is a good omen? Assuredly. In any case, that is all I wish you. Your dream was surely very pleasant, princess, but you should not fall asleep again. Do not forget that your lesson is supposed to start soon. Do not worry about me, Nahima. I am quite positive the poor sod will be late again anyway. Princess, you should not speak ill of your tutor. He's an excellent teacher. What has he planned for today? I don't know. We have completely given up on arithmetic over the past couple of days, and we are now focusing on practicing singing and playing the harp. You're only studying music? Why the sudden change? It is a request from my father, or so it seems. I don't know why. I have not seen him for years. I thought he had no interest in me. I am sure the king is simply a bit shy. Though he can get on his high horse, he may not even dare to be near you after your mother's death. I think he resents me. Why would that be? One way or another, he must be ashamed of me. He surely found a mistress after all this time. Sooner or later, he will tell me that he wants to repudiate me. That would not be correct of him. That comb. I hate combs. I hate combs. I hate combs. In that case, why has he not tried to marry me off? I am 70 years old. Is it not unusual? I do like the freedom, but I cannot shake the feeling that this is a bad omen. After all, young girls from good families are wed between 12 and 14 years old. I'm getting old. Oh, no. And at this rate, nobody will ever want to marry me. Dang, back in the day was crazy. Married at 12. With a lovely face like yours? Perish the thought. You are as beautiful as an angel, princess. Oh, thank you. It's smart, all that. No prince should ever refuse your hand. Thank you, Nahima. It is nice of you to comfort me. You know I mean it. Look at that beautiful hair. I can brush it for hours without getting bored. Please don't. I'm tender-headed. Kionna gave a faint but tender smile. Nahima had been her lady-in-waiting, her personal assistant, and her confidant for many, many years. As far as she could remember, they had been inseparable. Older by only 2 years, Nahima happened to share the Harris's Marinatian origins. However, unlike Kionna's family, which had always consisted of famous nobles, Nahima's humbler family had settled in the regions as retainers. The late queen herself had entrusted a young Martianian servant, and that was how she had become the princess's lady-in-waiting, despite her humble origins. She was now greatly enjoying taking care of the princess, and the sudden death of the queen had only brought them closer. So we're like sisters. Between the lessons intended to hone her knowledge and the time spent with her retainer, the Harris was not lacking in anything. Yet, she was feeling deeply bored, and, to her dismay, no party could ever awaken the sleeping castle. If things keep going like this, I'm going to die of old age within these walls, she thought, a bit melancholic. No one will ever look for me. No one will ever come to save me, and I will end up alone in this depressing place. She did not want to show Nahima her anguish, so she tried her best to smile. With the brushing done, the two girls left the room to attend to their occupations. See you later. Once the servant was out of sight, the princess sighed. Even though Nahima was her confidant and trusted her, there was one thing Kionna had never told her. Something was troubling her. She sometimes felt like she was being watched, especially on a day like this one. I don't like that. As the weather was sunny, her tutor enjoined her to go to the palace's inner garden and begin her recital. And, as she had foreseen, the princess felt someone insistently looking at her as she was singing, a gaze that was coming from the king's cabinet. Don't look at me. Don't look at me, creepy! As usual, the king was observing his daughter from afar, staring at her with a desire that was not hidden anymore. The old druid had grinded him down, and now the king was as desperate as he was convinced. He had to marry her. That day, his counselors had gathered at his request. He was going to inform them of his decision. The mood was heavy. Everyone felt something major was about to happen, and they were as worried as they were eager to hear what the king had to say. Ugh. Thank you all for coming. As you know, many of you have been begging me to remarry. Until now, I was quite against it, as I wanted to keep the promise I had made to my late wife. However, I have finally found someone worthy of replacing her and sitting beside me on the throne. Don't clap. Don't clap. A round of applause filled the room. The counselors seemed both incredulous and ecstatic. Thank you for making the decision, Your Highness. You may have thought of us as insensitive, but we were only doing it for your sake and the kingdom's. Absolutely. And we are sure the woman you have chosen will be up to the task. Could you tell us who the lady who managed to entice you might be? Of course, I will not hide the truth for much longer. She whom my heart has chosen is Princess Kionna, and I hereby officially announce my decision to marry her. Exactly. In a shared movement of fear, all the counselors fell silent. Some thought they had misheard, others thought it was a misunderstanding. One brave soul decided to break the ice and shyly ask, exactly, that face is perfect. Princess Kionna? Your daughter? My daughter, indeed. Loud whispers filled the king's cabinet. A mix of horror and bewilderment could be seen in the faces of the nobles. Time seemed to have stopped, and the cheerings had been replaced by contempt and cold glares. Exactly. Because what are you talking about? Another counselor dared to speak. But, Your Highness, with all due respect, you cannot marry your own daughter. The church says. Did you not swear a few seconds ago to accept my choice, whatever it would be? Are you not satisfied? I am finally fulfilling your wish, and this is still not enough? You rascals, be gone, and I know I will not change my mind. I will propose to Kionna this very day. They said, what? Thus the counselors were chased from the king's cabinet like criminals. And this... Gathered in the corridor, they soon began arguing aloud, exposed to all the retainers who were passing by. The king has gone crazy. We had warned you. We should have gotten rid of him. You fools. This is your fault. The jewel you paid so generously is a sham. He put some devilish thoughts into his head. Look at the result. It is just a sleight of hand. By marrying the princess, he is trying to keep the kingdom under his yoke. Once the wedding is consummated, we will not be able to exile him anymore, nor will we be able to ally with Kionna to take back power. We are his mercy. We are at his mercy. Dang, you got triplets? It is still possible to appoint an assassin and... Enough. It's because of you, extremists, that we are in this bind. Really? If you schemers had managed to come to an agreement, maybe we would not be here. Us? Are you not the one who let the druid do as he pleased? Let us face the fact. You loyalists are at fault. They soon became... Ooh, they're throwing hands. They soon came to blows, and news quickly spread in the whole castle like wildfire. Heck nah. That assassin plan sounds real good right now. That assassin plan sounds real good right now. As she was coming back from her tutor, Princess Kionna took the opportunity to wander in the near empty palace, still in a melancholic mood. Once again, she had felt her father observing her, whether it be while singing in the garden or later that day during other lessons. He had never stopped staring at her. She had noticed his behavior for quite some time, and she could not help but feel a deep unease. Was he, the man she had not seen in so many years, interested in her again? Was it an awkward way for him to make amends, as Nahima had said? Or was it for a far darker reason? Kionna had a bad feeling about this. Some other day, she would have dismissed those thoughts, but today was special. All day long, she had been under the impression that the servants were whispering things in her path. Something weird was definitely going on. With a knot in her stomach, she shook her head nervously. Girl, I'm nervous. I should stop thinking about it. It can only hurt me. She suddenly noticed the castle was bathing in sunlight, or sunset. Already that late? I must make haste. I promised Nahima I would pay her a visit. Girl, where you at? I need to talk to you. As the princess was walking towards the castle's kitchen, where most of the retainers were at that time of day, she felt a presence behind her back. Reflexively, she turned back and caught a glimpse of a man standing before her. Her heart skipped a beat, like never before, due to the surprise. Astounded, she tried to fan herself to get rid of the warmth that was spreading through her whole body. She needed a few seconds to recognize this solemn man, but any possible doubt had vanished. It was the king. Father? I have not seen you in so many years. Are you surprised, my daughter? Well, you seem to be avoiding me since the death of Mother. I regret that very much. Have I made you suffer? Yes, Father. I just want to speak with you again, if possible. All these years, I was only inhabited by loneliness and bitterness. I did not want you to see me like this. But today, I've decided this cannot continue. I'm glad to hear that, Father. See, why can't you just why can't you just enter back into her life and just be her father? Still petrified because of how surreal the scene was, Kionna politely answered while taking a closer look at the old man's faded and worn-out face. Has he always looked that tired? That aloof? She could not remember. The unexpected presence of the king could have been a great moment of happiness for the young woman, but in the shadows of a looming night, she could glimpse the red light in his eyes, a crazed and bloodthirsty light. With each word, the king was getting closer. Back it up. Looking more and more threatening, like a raven spreading out its wings. The unease did not leave Kionna's fluttering heart. Is this why you've come to see me, Father? As a token of reconcile? Or reconciliation? Yeah, whatever. Better than that. You want to be by my side, do you not? I know of a way to bring us closer, but this hope rests on you. Do you love me? I love you, like a daughter must love her father. This is not what I want to hear. I love you, my daughter, and I've decided to marry you. Exactly. I'm shaking. Cause what? Kionna could feel her blood rushing through her veins. Cause what you mean by that? What? Cold sweat was running down her spine. She did not want to believe this. My apologies, Father, but the church's teachings, I do not care about those. Forget them. I love you, and I want to make you my spouse. But I cannot. That would be a crime. He cut her pleading short with a voice as sharp as steel. I think you do not quite understand. You will marry me, whether you want to or not. I have your life in my hands. You have no choice but to obey me. Terrified, Kionna glanced around her, but there was no way to escape. The king's imposing stature was blocking the corridor. Yet an underwhelming urge to run away was tormenting her from the inside. She had to find a way. She tried to negotiate. Please, at least give me some time to think about it. The old king scowled at her, displeased. You have 1 hour, no more, no less. I will be in your mind. I will be in your bedchamber. Finish thinking about my proposal by then. Don't go in my room. Then he turned around and walked away, his cloak floating through the wind, leaving the princess lost and shocked. Okay, girl, let's go pack our bags. A dreadful marriage proposal. He, the Mad King. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I got an achievement. As he was vanishing from her field of vision, turning red by dusk, she let herself fall to the ground. This is not what I wanted. He's so proud of himself. Leaving the princess to her sorrow, the old king went back to the druid. I'm supposed to be looking for stuff. Did y'all see anything? I don't think anything happened yet. I don't think there's nothing in the background. The old king went back to the druid who had advised him so well. No, he didn't. Druid, my confidant. Speak frankly. Is my love for Kionna sinful? Yes. It's more than that. Not if your feelings are mutual. It's not. It will never be. Ew. Your Highness, has she become enamored with you? I do not know. She seems confused, shaken. Am I making a mistake? Her confusion is only natural, Your Highness. The princess is still young. She cannot analyze her feelings well yet. With some time, she will perfectly get used to it. So I must give her time? More than time. She needs to forget her reluctance. For that reason, you should, for instance, answer to her every whim. If you shower her with presents, she will soon understand how strong your love is, Your Highness. I will keep that advice in mind for after the wedding. But tell me, do you have a daughter? Unfortunately, I do not. Good. You don't need no kids. You don't need no kids. Unfortunately, I do not, Your Highness. But believe me, if I had one, I would not think twice before marrying. Oh, I didn't even read the whole sentence. That's. Okay, yeah. Okay. Plays with the druids. Plays with the druids. Whatever that word is. The king got out of his cabinet, even more determined than before to make his daughter yield. Nahima, where are you at? I gotta talk to you. Get me my bags and pack me some food. I'm out of here. After that overwhelming encounter, to say the least, Kionna went almost mechanically to her bedroom. Then she silently sat on her bed like a dislocated automaton. Like a robot. She found a bit of comfort in her misfortune. She now understood why the king seemed so weirdly reticent to marry her off. He wanted her for himself. But that was not morally acceptable. After all, he was the man who had conceived her, and the principles she had been taught were quite clear about this. Had he gone mad? Why was he trying to damn her to hell? A rush of disgust violently seized her throat. No, this is not right. Not right at all. Deep in morbid thought, The princess hardly noticed the sound of hurried footsteps coming closer. The grating noise of the door made her jolt. Was he already? Girl, listen to this. It's crazy. Fortunately, it was just Nahima, who had seemed as scared as her. Oh, princess. I have just heard the news from the mouth of another servant. I came here as fast as I could. Thank you, Nahima, but your effort was vain. My father told me I had no choice, and that he would marry me, whether I wanted or not. The hour for thought I requested is almost over. There is nothing we can do. Do not say that, princess. There is still some hope left. He will be here in a matter of minutes. I will never be able to find a solution in such a short time. Time. Time is what we need. Like my mother always said, it is not good to think in haste. We have to find a way to buy some time to get yourself off the hook. How can I buy time without upsetting him? He seems as hurried as he is irritated. If I were to ask him for another delay, he would certainly refuse. That's why you have to be sly. Rather than directly ask for more time, pretend you demand a gift from him as a token of goodwill. A gift? That is to say, as for something so rare and complex, it will be almost impossible for him to obtain it. Okay. Thus, even if he manages to give it to you, you would have bought quite some time nonetheless. And if he does not keep his commitment, that's even better. That's a good idea. However, I have to find something to ask him without sounding suspicious. If I were to request some Far Eastern china from him, he would argue that this is not necessary, or promise to buy some after our wedding. You're right. Nahima rubbed her chin with a pensive look. Time. We need time. All of a sudden, she clapped her hand. I know, princess. Demand he gives you a dress the color of time. It is proper for a future bride to want new clothes to appear a proper lady in the arms of her spouse. He will not be able to refuse. And since time has no color, no tailor, even the fairy one, will ever manage to craft such a dress. Nahima, you're a genius. Under the influence of relief, Kionna flew into her retainer's arms, who coincidentally went as red as the beetroot. Princess, please. This was nothing. The two girls were so happy, they failed to notice the sound of footsteps in the corridor in time. Someone knocked at the door. This time, there was no place for doubt. It was the king. Get out of my room. My daughter, are you here? Quick, Nahima, hide under the bed. We cannot let him know you are here. No sooner than done, Nahima slipped under the wooden frame. The wide bed sheets easily covered her, and Kionna only had to adjust the length to be sure she could not be seen. I'm coming, father. With shaking hands, the princess opened the door and let the king come in. His eyes were piercing and hard as an hour ago. She could not help but gulp. So, have you considered my proposal? Yes, father. After pondering the issue, I have come to the conclusion that I cannot appear by your side without clothes fit for a queen. I want to honor you, and that's why I would like to slightly renew my wardrobe before the wedding. The druid's advice immediately came to the old king's mind. The young woman was certainly about to express some whims of hers, and he could not pass on such an occasion to earn her trust. Thus, the king carefully listened to her. Please, speak frankly, dear daughter. I am listening, and I will try my best to fulfill whatever wish you have. Father, please bear that I ask you of a dress the color of time. The color of time? What a strange whim of yours, but so be it. I will stick to my word. You will have this dress tomorrow evening at the same time. With a solemn look, he left the room, delighted by the hope that Harris had given him. Nahima took advantage of the opportunity to come out of her hiding. You have been wonderful, princess. We have managed to buy enough time to set up a plan. We still have to find one, however. It is better to sleep on it. It has been a long and intense day, and you must be exhausted. Get some rest, and we will think about it tomorrow morning. You're probably right, Nahima. With a brooding and hazy mind, the princess quickly went to bed. There had to be a way to save her. Meanwhile, the king had gathered the most talented crafters of the area, the best tailors there were, and he ordered them to make this dress in a day. Otherwise, they would be hanged. Oh. I don't want people to die on my behalf like that. Terrified for their lives, they started their work right away, restlessly working all night, while cursing this weird idea. A dress the color of time. What a caprice. A caprice? A caprice? A Capri Sun? Oh gosh. On the day of the second day, the princess woke up earlier than usual. Kionna was not able to move, so she was staying in bed and I have a rest in my son. You know what? Also, did y'all see anything in the background? Or did I miss something? Oops, Robin. You know, you guys, I think I'm gonna stop right here. I think we got a good sense of the game. I actually really like it. I actually really like it. Cause it's like, first of all, I love the way the game moves. It feels like a play. The way the characters move and like she's behind the bed, the screen closes up on certain stuff. It feels like it's a play or something. I like the way the game moves. I also like the fact that I like the setting. I like how I get to experience these fairy tales and find stuff within it. So it's a little more interactive, besides just the choices. And I like the story. It's messed up. This fairy tale is messed up. Actually, let me... Have you fallen in the saucepan? What does that mean? Oh. I just want to look at these real fast. Donkeyskin 1. I'm gonna read these later. Because the story is real good. Because why he want to marry the why he want to marry his daughter? That's crazy. And yeah, I really enjoy this, and I probably gotta play some more because I'm interested in what. I'm just interested. So I really enjoyed this game. So I hope you guys enjoyed too. I hope you guys go get the game too. Is it out? Where's my phone at? The game is out. And there's also a demo available. So have fun with that. And I recommend it. I'm enjoying this a lot. So I think I'm gonna keep playing some more. But I think I'm done right here. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow me on my social media, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.